If you are receiving CPP OAS or GIS, stop what you are doing right now and check this before the May 27th deposit hits your bank account. The payment date is real, the schedule is official, and for many Canadian seniors, one small detail, your banking information, your income information, or your benefit status can make the difference between a smooth deposit and a stressful surprise. The official Government of Canada benefits calendar lists May 27, 2026 as the next scheduled payment date for Canada Pension Plan, Old Age Security and related public pension benefits. Now take a breath. This is not about panic. This is about clarity. CPP OAS and GIS can feel confusing because they are connected to different rules. CPP is based mostly on what you paid into the Canada Pension Plan during your working years. OAS is based mainly on your age, legal status, residence in Canada and income rules. GIS is for low-income seniors who already receive OAS, and it depends heavily on your income information, so if you feel overwhelmed, you are not alone. Everything here is based on official Government of Canada information, and I am going to explain it step by step the way I would explain it to my own family. There are 3 things you need to understand today. First, what the May 27th payment date really means. Second, how the current CPP OAS and GIS amounts may apply to you. And third, what you should check right now so your payment does not get delayed, reduced or misunderstood. The first update is the May 27th payment itself, and it matters because many seniors treat the payment date as the only thing they need to know, but the date is only one part of the story. May 27, 2026 is the scheduled deposit date for CPP and OAS related payments, including GIS for those who qualify. If you receive direct deposit, the money is usually expected to arrive in your account on that date. If you receive a check by mail, it may take longer depending on delivery, your address and local mailing conditions. That is why seniors should not wait until the morning of May 27th to ask, "Where is my payment?" The smarter step is to check your details before the payment date arrives. Let me say that again clearly. A payment can be scheduled on the official calendar, but your personal situation still matters. If your banking information recently changed, if you moved to a new address, if your tax return was filed late, if your marital status changed, if your spouse passed away, if your income changed, or if you recently applied for a benefit, your payment may not look exactly the same as your neighbor's payment. 2 seniors can both be waiting for May 27th, but one may receive CPP only, one may receive OAS and GIS, and another may receive CPP OAS and a reduced GIS amount because of income. For CPP, eligibility is generally connected to contributions you made while working in Canada. You can receive CPP retirement pension as early as age 60, but the amount depends on your contributions and the age when you start. The maximum CPP retirement pension at age 65 for January 2026 is listed by the Government of Canada as $1,507.65 per month, but this is the maximum for someone with strong contribution history. Many people receive less than the maximum, and that does not mean anything is wrong. It usually means their contribution history, earnings or start age was different. For OAS, the rules are different. OAS does not depend on how much you paid into CPP. OAS depends on age, residence and income rules. For April to June 2026, the maximum OAS pension is listed as up to $743.05 per month for seniors age 65 to 74, and up to $817.36 per month for seniors age 75 and older. But those are maximum amounts, not a promise that every senior receives that exact figure. Your actual OAS can depend on your income, how long you lived in Canada after age 18, whether you receive a full or partial pension, and whether recovery tax rules apply. Here is a real-life example. Margaret from Winnipeg is 76 years old. She receives OAS and CPP. She hears someone say, everyone over 75 gets $817.36, and she becomes worried because her deposit is lower. But when she checks her details, she learns that her OAS amount is connected to her personal eligibility and income situation, and her CPP is separate because it is based on her own contribution history. Nothing is necessarily wrong. The number she sees online is the maximum, not her guaranteed personal deposit. That one understanding removes a lot of fear. This is important, so stay with me for just a moment. The May 27th date tells you when the payment is scheduled. It does not tell you your exact personal amount. Your personal amount depends on which benefits you receive, how you qualify, your income, your tax filing status, your age, your residence history and your banking or mailing details. That is why the safest thing to do before May 27th is not just to ask what day is the payment. The better question is, are my details correct before the payment is sent? The second update is the current OAS and GIS amount information, and this is where many seniors get confused because they hear one number and assume it applies to everyone. For OAS, the April to June 2026 maximum is up to $743.05 monthly, for ages 65 to 74 and up to $817.36 monthly for ages 75 and over. For GIS, the maximum amount depends on your marital status and income. For April to June 2026, a single widowed or divorced senior with annual income under $22,512 may receive up to $1,109.85 per month in GIS. A senior with a spouse or common-law partner who receives the full OAS pension may have a different threshold and a lower maximum GIS amount because the couple's combined income is considered. Now let's explain that in plain language. GIS is not the same as OAS. GIS is extra support for lower-income seniors who receive OAS. It is tax-free, but it is income-tested. That means Service Canada looks at income information to decide whether you qualify and how much you may receive. If your income is too high, you may not receive GIS. If your income is low enough, you may receive some GIS, and in some cases the amount can be very meaningful. But it can change if your income changes, if your marital status changes, or if your tax information is not available. Let me say that again clearly. GIS is not automatic forever just because you received it once. It is connected to your income information. This is why tax filing is so important. Even if you do not owe tax, even if you think your income is too low to matter, even if you only receive benefits, filing your tax return helps the government confirm benefit eligibility. The Government of Canada says GIS recipients must file taxes by April 30th every year to avoid disruption of payments, and if taxes have not been filed, GIS payments may stop or be reduced until income information is confirmed. Here is a story that shows why this matters. Robert from Halifax is 69. He receives OAS and a small CPP payment. He also qualifies for GIS because his income is low. One year he thought he did not need to file taxes because he did not owe anything. A few months later his GIS was affected, not because he did anything wrong on purpose, but because his income information was not confirmed. Once he got help filing, his situation was reviewed. The lesson is simple. For low-income seniors, filing taxes is not just about taxes. It is often connected to keeping benefits moving properly. Eligibility for GIS can feel personal, and it is. A single senior has one income threshold, a couple has another. If your spouse receives full OAS, that is one category. If your spouse does not receive OAS or the allowance, that can be another category. If you are widowed, divorced, or single, the rules can look different again, so do not compare your GIS amount with your friend, your sister, your neighbor, or someone in a Facebook group. Their household situation may be different from yours, and here is the part that surprises most people. A higher deposit is not always a bonus, and a lower deposit is not always a mistake. Sometimes it is simply the way the rules apply to your income, age, or household situation. If you receive GIS and your amount changes, the first thing to check is whether your tax filing and income information are up to date. The second thing is whether your marital status or living situation changed. The third thing is whether your OAS eligibility or CPP income changed. A small CPP increase can sometimes affect income-tested benefits because GIS is based on income. The third update is the payment protection check before May 27th. This is not a new law, and it is not a secret banking rule. It is a practical step that every senior should take before a payment date. You should check your My Service Canada account, your payment destination, your direct deposit information, your mailing address, your phone number, and your benefit status. My Service Canada account is the official online account where Canadians can access services connected to CPP, OAS, GIS, and other federal programs. The Government of Canada's MSCA page also lists direct deposit setup or change as one of the account services. This matters because payment problems are often boring, ordinary, and preventable. They are not always caused by a big government change. Sometimes a senior switched banks and forgot to update direct deposit. Sometimes a person moved apartments and did not update their mailing address. Sometimes a spouse passed away and the household benefit situation changed. Sometimes the bank account is closed, frozen for personal banking reasons, or no longer active. Sometimes the senior is waiting for a check, but the address on file is old. None of these situations feel dramatic until the payment does not arrive. If you use direct deposit, make sure the bank account on file is still the account you use today. If you changed banks recently, do not assume the government automatically knows. If you receive a check, make sure your mailing address is correct. If you recently moved to a retirement residence, moved in with family, changed provinces, or changed your phone number, update your details. The Government of Canada direct deposit information says you can set up direct deposit or change your banking information for government payments, and if you receive multiple payments, you may need to contact more than one department depending on the benefit. Here is another realistic example. Linda from Surrey is 72. She receives CPP and OAS by direct deposit. In April she switched banks because her old branch closed. She moved her automatic bill payments but she forgot to update her Service Canada payment destination. When May approached, she assumed everything was fine because her pension had always arrived before. Then she remembered to check her My Service Canada account and saw that her old banking information was still connected. She corrected it before the next payment cycle. That simple check helped her avoid a missed or delayed deposit. This is important, so stay with me. Checking your information does not mean something bad is happening. It means you are taking control. Seniors have enough stress already. Rent, food, medication, transportation, property tax, insurance, and heating bills do not wait patiently. So when a payment date is coming, the best protection is preparation. You do not need to understand every government rule. You just need to know where to check, what to ask, and who to contact if something looks wrong. First, check your My Service Canada account. Look for your CPP, OAS, or GIS information. Confirm that your payment destination is correct, your address is current, and your benefit information looks familiar. If you have trouble signing in, use the official Government of Canada sign-in options, and do not click strange links from emails or social media messages. Go directly to Canada, CR, or search for My Service Canada account from a trusted browser. Second, confirm your direct deposit or mailing information before May 27th. If you changed banks, closed an account, moved, changed your phone number, or started using a different mailing address, do not wait until deposit day. If you are unsure whether the change went through, contact Service Canada. For OAS and CPP questions, the Service Canada phone number is 1-800-277-9914. You can also visit your local Service Canada office if speaking with someone in person is easier for you. Third, if you receive GIS, make sure your tax return and income information are up to date. This is one of the most important steps for low-income seniors. GIS depends on income information, and the government has clearly stated that filing taxes by the deadline helps avoid payment disruption. If you miss the April 30th deadline, do not ignore it. File as soon as possible, or contact Service Canada to ask how to report your income information directly if needed. Fourth, get free help if taxes or forms feel overwhelming. The Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, also called CVITP, works with community organizations that host free tax clinics where volunteers complete tax returns for people with a modest income and a simple tax situation. Many seniors qualify for this kind of help, especially if their return is simple. You can look for a free tax clinic through Canada, CA, or ask a local library, seniors center, community center, or settlement organization if they know where the nearest clinic is. Fifth, write down what you checked. This sounds small, but it helps. Write the date you checked your account, the phone number you called, the name of the office you contacted, and what you were told. Keep this note with your pension papers. If there is a delay later, you will not have to start from memory. You will know exactly what you already did, and when you did it. Now let's bring the urgency back, calmly and factually. The key date is May 27, 2026, because that is the scheduled CPP, OAS, and GIS payment date. But the bigger deadline issue for many GIS recipients is the tax filing requirement. GIS is renewed based on income information, and the government says tax filing by April 30th helps avoid disruptions. If you did not file by April 30th, it does not mean you should give up. It means you should act as soon as possible, because the longer income information remains missing, the more likely it is that your GIS could be delayed, reduced, or interrupted until your eligibility is confirmed. There is another timing issue for seniors who have not applied for OAS yet. OAS can sometimes be paid retroactively, but there are limits. Older official Government of Canada reference material states that OAS retroactive payments are generally limited to a maximum of 11 months, except in special severe incapacity situations. That is why seniors who are already eligible should not keep delaying simply because the forms feel confusing. If you are not sure whether you applied or you think you may have missed something, contact Service Canada and ask. The calm message is this: do not panic, but do not ignore it either. Before May 27th, check your account. If you receive GIS, confirm your tax filing. If you changed banks, confirm your payment destination. If you moved, update your address. If something looks wrong, call Service Canada at 1-800-277-9914 or visit a local Service Canada office. If taxes are the problem and your situation is simple, ask about a free CVITP tax clinic. These steps are not complicated, but they can protect your peace of mind. And please remember this: CPP, OAS, and GIS are not handouts. These are part of the retirement and income support system that Canadian seniors rely on after years of working, raising families, paying taxes, building communities, volunteering, caring for others, and helping shape this country. You deserve clear information. You deserve respect. You deserve to understand what is happening to your money without being confused, scared, or talked down to. If this helped you, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss the next Canada Seniors update. Like this if it made things clearer for you, because that helps other seniors find the same information, and comment with your city and your question or situation. You can simply write something like Toronto OAS question, Calgary GIS help, or Halifax May 27th payment. I read the comments and respond whenever I can, because sometimes one question from you is the same question hundreds of other seniors are afraid to ask.